friends and family aren't going to support you until strangers celebrate you.
Right.
And I was like, damn, yeah, that's a
Right.
fact.
Ding,
And
ding, ding.
then, then they see enough success and they're like, oh yeah, this is my boy, he does this, blah, blah, blah. And it's like,
This episode was brought to you by the Hungry Pandas of EXP Realty, Mental Makeover, and Don't Speak.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Make Excuses or Make It Happen podcast. Today, very special guest, Victor Devine of Berkshire, Hathaway, Commonwealth. He's actually out of the Cambridge office. Without further ado, I'm going to let him introduce himself and get straight into the questions.
first of all, happy to be here, man. I've been watching you, proud of the growth. So, Victor Devine, I'm with Berkshire Hathaway. I've been with that office for 11 years now, and yeah, man, I'm excited to be here with you.
Cool. So I know a bit of the history of Berkshire Hathaway, obviously, but can you share a bit of your upbringing with the brokerage?
With the brokerage?
Yeah, and what got you into real estate?
I got into real estate, actually. I was finishing up a master's program. Going into that program, somebody gave me a book. I was like a little disappointed you don't got Rich Dad Poor Dad up here.
Just not today.
Yeah, man. Somebody gave me that book. I'd never even heard of real estate. I didn't know anyone in the business. I didn't know what that meant as a career. I read that book in May, and by August, I was up and running as a realtor.
And what was your practice before?
I was in school. I was getting my MBA. Yep.
MBA focused in accounting, right?
In accounting, that's right. So I did 4 years post-grad in accounting. During that time, I was building the business in real estate. And then at some point, the money didn't line up anymore. And we'll get into why I left later. But That was when I made the jump full-time. So I did about 4 years part-time and then made the jump full-time.
Okay, so you've been through that before.
Yeah,
so
I know all about that.
I'm excited to share a bit more on that. Okay, so then you said you went to university. Where was that? And
I went to UMass Dartmouth.
UMass Dartmouth.
Yeah.
How was your experience there? What was maybe one key thing you took from it?
I loved it. I played ball there for 4 years. I stayed and did a 5-year program to get my master's. So It was good. I went to accounting because I like money and I knew it would be a quick, easy job out of college. I didn't realize how much I hated being in front of a computer. So it took a little while for me. Yeah, man. It was tough. And I was not good at it.
Yeah.
But
it's hard to be good at accounting.
You got to learn the hard way sometimes.
Okay, so then on that note, throughout your journey as a realtor in your first, so it's year 11 for you?
Year 12.
Okay, yeah. So what did the first 5 years and years look like? Because probably around that 5 years when it kind of clicked. What did that look like for your trials and tribulations? What are some pieces of times of adversity you've been through that you sustained through?
I mean, it was different because the first 4 years I had a cushion. You know what I mean? Those paychecks from my accounting job were steady, and the real estate money was just fun money. All honesty, when my first son was born, so seven years ago, that was my 4th year in accounting. I had just bought a house. I had just gotten married. We had just had the baby. And 6 months into all of that, I got fired from that accounting job. My wife was still in school, so she wasn't working. So I had a small...
That was your pivotal moment?
Bro, that was the moment.
Where you had no choice?
It was either you're going to drown or you're going to figure this out.
Okay.
So I don't know if you met Denise Price.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so
once or twice in
shout
the
out to
Cambridge
them,
office, right?
Bill and Denise, they're my mentors. They brought me up in this, but she had been trying to get me to go full-time for years. And it was always I was in the tax side of my job. So January to April is the crunch time.
Right.
And that's the crunch time in real estate too. That's where you kind of get all your leads and kind of set the tone for the year. So she'd always tell me yo, quit your job and come on in February. I'm I can't quit in February. It doesn't work that way. So when I got fired, she was I know this sounds mean, but I'm so excited for you. Congratulations on being
so
fired.
I am when people tell me bad news, I'm yes.
Yeah, so I was all right, cool. And then we just went for it. It took a year maybe to kind of get my footing, and then...
What was your, if there was 3 things that you said to yourself that you had to crush to become a successful realtor in that year, what were they?
Focus.
Yeah.
I have no problem working 16 hours a day. Like that was not
That
going to
wasn't
be
the
the
problem.
issue. Not at all.
It was what you're doing.
What am I supposed to do with all this time and energy that I want to dedicate to this? Like I'm down, just tell me how to do it. So I just need to focus on what to do. Consistency was huge because I can give you, 5 things to do, but if you only do them once each, it's not going to work in this business. It's going to take maybe 20 times before they call you back or before they sign the deal. Yeah, so I had to learn that. The third thing, I think it was just kind of find like the confidence, like finding out what your
when confidence clicks. You just start
bro.
spitting. Everything you say, from the moment you wake up to even your family members, where it becomes too much.
Yeah.
It's all real estate. Just like, you need a home. I know the top 5 loans, and I've got the top 5 brokers. Okay, what's next? Well, you just came from home inspection. I bet still to this day, man, as you're going in and out of home inspections, something new was like about the roof, the ceiling, and etc. So then, on this journey, so you said you came in, you knew that you needed guidance, found them, followed the executive plan that they had already laid out for you. I think that's a big thing in real estate that I grasped from people like yourself. Okay, Victor's done it for 11 years with this brokerage. I'm in this brokerage now. What is he doing? And I don't have to repeat it, right? Okay, he's sharing his stories with his clients. He's always actively probably engaging in some sort of calls. Maybe they're not targeted in the same way I am, but I know he's having active conversations, making sure that you're having online presence in some sort. Those 3 in itself, you take those and you need to realize that you don't need to create the whole process all over. You just need to emulate it your own way.
Exactly.
And I think that's a key point to share. The past written out. That's why we all network and work together and get back to reflect on it. And so now we can kind of think moving forward, what's your 1 to 5, maybe 10-year vision, touching a little bit on each point where you see yourself in terms of growth? Because the past 1 to 5 to 10, you probably could have never imagined. So
no, I did. I mean, I'm right where I hoped to be.
Okay.
So I think in any aspect of life, that's always like the hardest questions. Like, what do you want? Like, what do you want in your life? What's your purpose?
Yeah.
Once you define that, then it's easy. Like, then the universe will conspire to make it happen for you, right? But answering that is hard. So that's a tough question even still. I mean, I have, small goals of like, all right, I want to move this many units per year or hit this number.
Okay, so then if there was one goal in the next year that's something that you have not accomplished yet that you know is going to get done, what is it?
This year I want to sell 60 sales.
Okay, and how close have you gotten to that goal in the last calendar year?
Last year I think was 48 maybe.
Okay, so you need about a quarter increase.
I needed 1 more month.
Yeah, you need 1 more month in the year.
So
that would have done it.
It's doable. If I close everything out now, I think it's at like 35. We're about halfway, so I'm on track. But if I could hit that, I mean that's a big goal for me.
So then here's my question. Then you've obviously you can accomplish your goals. You've proven that. What's the action steps to get that 0.25% increase in your volume?
Yeah, like the consistency is key. Once you start closing enough, it's real easy to take your foot off the gas of like
complacency.
And it's also like, you forget that, like we just said, it takes a while for all of this stuff to happen. So like, you take a month off or 2 months off without reaching out to new people to start generating those leads that will close 6 months, 18 months out.
It can
6 months, 18 months out, you might be a little slow.
You're right.
So it's like, that's hard when you have some cash rolling in and you want to take some time off. It's like, all of a sudden you look up a few months later, like, that's kind of quiet right now. What happened? And it's like,
you look at your calendar. What was on my calendar on those days? I realized that quickly, and because, like you said, when you actually just go at it full throttle, I realized that the calls I was making in June, July were closing in the next quarter. And every time it was calls now, next quarter to multiple quarters moving forward. And that's exactly why, again, I know that the rest of my year is going to be all tied up.
Yeah.
Right now it's crunch time.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why we're sitting here today.
Right.
So what is your reason why? What's your why? You had mentioned that there was a pivotal moment where your family came in and then job loss, realization in career. It wasn't a problem of purpose. So
Yeah.
what is your why that you still stand with today? What's Victor Divine's mission and why?
Yeah, I mean, it's that. It's the family. You know, I have 3 sons, so not to say by any means that I grew up in a struggle. I had 2 parents that both worked extremely hard. I grew up in Brookline in a condo, so it's like I've watched them work, both of them, 70, 80 hours a week. So seeing that and then kind of learning like, okay, that's normal. That's just what you do to provide. And then applying that to real estate, my why is twofold. It's one, making sure I'm making them proud and showing them like, hey, I was paying attention to what y'all were doing, but also making sure my kids see the same thing. Like, you gotta work hard. Life isn't easy. Life's not gonna be handed to you. They come with me. I would say like 30% of the time I'll have at least one of them, showing houses, doing the home inspection. So not to say they need to be a realtor, but I just want them to know, like, hey, you gotta bust your.
Right. It's a Saturday morning and we're here.
Get up, we're going to work.
Right.
So my why is just making sure that they're straight, basically.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
And that's enough.
That's all
That's
I need.
enough, right?
And I selfishly love to travel. So if I got some dough in my pocket to make that happen.
What are your top destinations that you have been to?
That I've gone to already?
Yeah.
South Africa.
Okay.
Costa Rica and Brazil.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably my top 3. I'll put Spain in there maybe too.
And what's the top 3 future ones?
I want to check out Belize.
Okay.
I want to check out Australia. Just different. I liked Costa Rica a lot.
And it's close, right?
It's close.
South America.
The food is banging. It has, from what I'm told, kind of a similar vibe where you can get the beach thing, you can get the food thing, you can get the mountains. So all that venture in one, that would be fun. Australia would be cool. And a safari would be dope.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe in Kenya.
Okay, I was about to say, you're going to have to go to like Sahara or something.
Yeah, those are probably my top 3.
Okay.
Hey, it's Dick Lee here with eXp Realty. Just want to say thank you for watching the first podcast of Make Excuses or Make It Happen. If you're a real estate agent or if you're a loan officer, please, please, please reach out to me. I want to make sure that you are financially aligned with your business. What does financially aligned mean? Well, that makes that your business is working for you. We want to make sure that you're maximizing your profitability, maximizing your revenue, and also working smarter, not harder. See, I've been doing this for over 27 years. I want to make sure that you're doing the same as well too. So hit me up, 508-277-9939, or follow me on Instagram at @TheRealDickLee. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Hey all, this is Chris with Mental Makeover. Wanted to come on here and talk a little bit more about our company, our mission, and our values. So Mental Makeover, it's a 501c3 nonprofit organization that started in August of 2018 after the deaths of Kate Spade and Anthony Bourdain. And since then, my team and I, we have been working to develop curriculum, education, and awareness for the youth in our community, especially in Salem. We've lost too many people to mental health struggles, and we wanted to do something about that. We wanted to be a little bit more proactive than reactive, and that's what Mental Makeover is striving to do. We're happy to sponsor the Make Excuses or Make It Happen podcast, as Xavier is a good friend of ours. He's from Salem, and he's making a difference in our community. And with that, thanks for having us.
So throughout your career, what are some of the biggest challenges that you faced, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, that's a real one. All right, so we keep it a buck. I started when I was 22, I think, somewhere around there, 22. So young, black dude. I was in Brookline still at the time. Office was in Cambridge. So it was already like you got a whole lot of shit working against you as far as, being taken seriously in the business. To the point where I'm not like, even family members would be trying to make moves and not use me. It's like, yo, are you serious? You're really not going to use me as your agent? And it's like, yo, you're mad young, you're inexperienced. So it's like, you get that. So you really, especially if you're young, I mean, if you're a little older, you might be able to fake it easier. But when you're young, you can't fake the funk. They know, like, bro, you just started, relax. I'm not giving you this $1 million deal. So I would say in the early days, kind of establishing myself, gaining the confidence from other people, I did fake it till I made it, 100%. And I I would take every possible deal I could, even if I knew there's like a 10% chance of me closing this thing. I would take it just to work it, learn it, post it, you know. And then at some point, I closed a few deals. People saw enough success where it was like, we'll give them a chance.
Yeah.
What do they say? Friends and family
They
will
don't
support you until strangers celebrate you.
Oh,
right?
okay. I was thinking of a different one. I was gonna say they don't care how much you know
Nah,
till they know how much
I don't
you
know
care.
who told me that, but I remember
Say
somebody,
it again.
somebody damn near ripped my heart out that I felt like you are supposed to support me, and they was trying to go a different route with who they were gonna use,
Right.
and that was bullshit. And somebody told me like, yo, bro, you gotta relax. Friends and family aren't gonna support you until strangers celebrate you.
Right.
And I was like, damn, yeah, that's a
Right.
fact. And then, you know, then they see enough success and they're like, oh yeah, this is my boy, he does this, blah, blah, blah. And it's like,
That's what I'm realizing with my presence, right? Many people, first thing they ask me is, what is your return on investment when you're over here posting every day, hiring a producer, and promoting, paying for Facebook promotions? Well, it's that right there, right? I need the whole world. I don't care if someone in Japan is liking every single one of my posts, because again, I know that that's a human. Yes, there's bots, but again, the humans are pulling through. I was saying to my partner Gabe, at the end of the day, when it's about the impressions, I know because I'm a consumer. When Vic posts, if I see a hot post, I look at it, I double click it.
Right.
If I see a promotion, I'm gonna click on his profile. Maybe a link, maybe a couple taps. Now those are impressions.
Yep.
Now when you look at your analytics and those start to say tens of hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, you're killing it too, bro.
Yeah,
Yo,
and that's finally clicking though.
Yeah.
But again, I can't. I credit the people who have done it before me.
Yeah.
Really, I'm a firm believer in everything that I'm doing and building in this industry is greater than myself.
For sure.
And I think that's a note that we all agree on.
But the other thing too, when people ask you like, yo, what's your return on investment? You're still like fairly new in this, bro. It's like, yo, ask me that in 2 years. Just sit back and watch what this return is gonna look like.
It's almost like if you really want to get on that question, we have to sit down for 15 minutes and read my white paper.
Yeah.
Because I have an executive marketing summary, and that's why I went to business school, and that's what they taught me.
Yeah.
They said this is how the best are doing it. Read this book and get after it. So, on that note, just maybe 1, 2, 3 things. What's your number one piece of advice you leave people with today that they could take from to move forward in their real estate goals, personal development, or career goals?
I absolutely believe you have to write them down. So whatever goals it is, personal goals, real estate goals, whatever.
And why
it
is that?
For me, I have a whiteboard in my office. It keeps me accountable, and it's a daily reminder of, you know, I don't have my why up there. I know my why, but it's like when I look up on that board, I see like, all right, 10 calls, you know, 10 touches, whatever it is. And then I have a list of all the people that are in the database. Yeah, exactly. I have a star next to them. So that's just on the work side. I used to have my personal goals on that same whiteboard. That whiteboards look a little heavy now, so I have it on a separate one. But I think writing down your goals really helps keep you accountable. It's a daily reminder.
I found huge value in that too.
Big time.
Even just my top 7 words.
Yeah.
Like character building. You know,
Yep.
so it's visionary. You know, family, love, kindness.
Yep.
You know, gratitude.
Yep.
For example. Then again, just like you, 10 calls a day, 5 conversations a day, 1 post a day, so average 7 on the week.
Yeah.
1 podcast recording a week, etc. 1 book, 2 books a month, etc., etc. Once you start you gotta pinpoint them. You gotta write them down.
Yeah.
You gotta write them down, do the work, reflect, repeat, pinpoint, metric, so you can measure. Right. That's the only way you can scale a business.
100%.
Anything else you leave people with?
Same stuff we've been saying, man. I'm a firm believer in confidence. You know, whatever that is, make your decision, and then you have to be confident in that decision. If we're talking real estate, then it's like, if you're trying to buy a house, once you make that decision, you know, especially in this market, it might get a little weird trying to do it, but if you're confident in your agent, you're confident in your lender, and the team, then it's like, just stick with it, weather the storm. You might miss out on a few.
That's one of the greatest things I've learned from you through your experience, because again, you have a decent amount of volume coming through. You're seeing experience, because no deal's the same.
Yep.
What I see is that you're a great agent because of your strategy. Yeah. your strategy in your consultations. For example, you might need to buy over, you might need to seek something under that we can get you. You might need to waive this, you might need to go to this location, etc. That's kind of something that I've caught. I think that you just touched on too.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it before early on. You as the agent, you gotta be the professional in the room. And you have to also educate everyone else in that room so that when those decisions come up, it's like, again, back to the confidence thing. It's like, all right, X explained exactly what was gonna happen. We already are prepared. We know how to respond to this. Right. And then it's an easy conversation when it's like, this home inspection went funny, or this appraisal
went the expectations.
And they know, you've educated them, and
that's what leadership's about.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool, man. So, on that note, thank you for being the strong leader you are. Man. Thank you for coming in, taking the time, came straight from a home inspection. You already know how it is. We got the Celtics playing tonight, so that's why you're wearing your lucky green. You already know. But yeah, man, where can we find you on social media, the internet, and whatnot, for people to stay connected, help promote your business, and if they're looking in your specific area, if you want to share again.
So I'm on Instagram. You can find me at Keeping It Realtor is my IG page. Facebook, I'm on Facebook. Just whatever goes on Instagram goes on Facebook. Same with LinkedIn, Victor Divine. TikTok is weak, but you can find me on there too. And then location-wise, my bread and butter is like Roslindale, Jamaica Plain, Hyde Park, West Roxbury, Dorchester. So like anywhere in the city. These days, I mean, you know how it goes. I'm everywhere. I got a deal in Tewksbury. I got
Hudson.
a deal in Sharon.
Yeah.
I got a deal in Attleboro. So if folks are serious and they're willing to get after it, then I'm down too. So
that's what's up, man. Thank you very much for your time.